Hey, if you've ever handed your sales team a script and hoped that would fix everything, this episode is for you. Scripts don't fail because salespeople are bad. They fail when marketing doesn't give them the context they need to have a real conversation. I'm Vic from Viking Sales Consultants. I help smart people get smarter by selling more stuff to people that want and need what they have to offer already. What about you, Chris?
Oh, and I'm Chris Inman with I.D.E.A Cleveland, and we help businesses use and leverage video, such as YouTube, podcasts, or social media videos to generate quality leads. So, Vic, we're going to talk about scripts. Every salesperson loves scripts that I talk to. My wife, who worked in sales, she's like, "What's your sales script?" And I was like, I don't have a script. I wing it. She goes, "You have a script, you just don't know it."
That's it. That's it. You may think you don't have a script, but you are saying something consistently.
Correct. We all have the words that we repeat over and over again that describe our company. So why don't you first talk about the importance of having a script?
Well, I'm kind of torn as to whether you're being sarcastic or serious when you say that salespeople love scripts. But so let's just agree on that, is that most people, salespeople, even if you're a business owner doing the sales, whether you like it or not, out of necessity, which is a lot of people, but you're smart. You're experienced. You know your product better than anyone. You don't need a script. You can wing it. But the question is, can people tell you're winging it? Do you ever walk out of a meeting saying, "I wish I'd said that," or "Why didn't I do that?" Then we're talking about scripting. And it doesn't have to be difficult. As everything in life, it needs to be simple. So back to your question, with that kind of frame of reference, I like double negatives. How can you not have a script? You have to, because as we've already agreed, you're saying something anyway. You might as well say it in the best way that it can be said. And now hand the microphone to you as represent marketing. Shouldn't that mirror what's on the website, the newsletter, the marketing materials? Thoughts?
Yes. And the other thing is, if you think about what words work, what changes the attitude of the person sitting across from the salesperson. These are the phrases and everything that should be in the marketing material, because they generate an emotion of like, this is it, this is what I need. So why wouldn't you put that out in the wild more often? So that's where I think the scripts need to come back. What's working, what's not working from the sales, back into the marketing department and go, hey, our guys and gals, they've been using this phrase. And when they describe this product or service and they use this analogy, they use this story, it really resonates with our ideal clients. Perfect. Let's do more of that. Let's figure out how we can push that into more of our marketing materials, be it social media, the newsletter, whatever the case might be. It doesn't matter. They're all equal. But that's where I think the script can come back into the marketing department. And it also can go the other way around. If we have a newsletter or a blog that's out, and the title of the blog is getting tons of clicks, let's say on X, you're like, man, we're getting a lot of people coming in because this is what the X title, the post says, and this is the title of the blog. This must really resonate with these people. And then if you're even getting a better call to action where they're booking a meeting or downloading the PDF, whatever the call to action is in that marketing material, hey, salespeople, this thing's really working out well. Is there a way you can use this material in your sales cycle to take a client into a deeper? So there has to be that mesh of sharing wins with each other.
It is. And we've talked about this before. It's that communication and that feedback loop between sales and marketing. But in case we're losing anybody, I'm going to come back to this thought in a second. What if you're in a situation as a salesperson where you have no control? It's that big company and you can't tell marketing what to put on the website. I think that's a reality for a lot of people. I know I've lived there. But ideally, it's what you described. The messaging gets better and better and better. And we always are going to lean into this. That's assuming you know very succinctly what it is you do, who you do it for, and how they benefit. Because the first time sales pushes back to marketing and says, yeah, but wait a minute, that doesn't apply to this customer. Well, are you talking a customer or a prospective customer? And are they really a customer, or are they not who we're marketing to, and not, therefore, who you should be selling to? So You know, I talk about upstream problems and downstream problems. This is an example again. You all have to be, doing things consistently as far as your brand and your image and who you are and what you do. And if you don't have that aligned, then how can you be aligned on the messaging? Well, I was going to say that to this customer, but that doesn't resonate with them. Yeah, because you're barking up the wrong tree. They're never going to be a customer. So, of course, they're not listening to the message. But let's go back real quick, and then I'll throw it to you. The other concept is, so what if you're trapped? What if you're a salesperson out there and you have found a great way to message, and, it's just not within your power, or maybe it is within your power, but you don't have the time or bandwidth or desire to go update your website, and now people are getting a mixed message. What I'd like to put on the table is, and what I think salespeople and marketing both want to hear, is how you can personalize these things. Customize these things. And we can take a random example. We could take the titles of one of our books and say it in 10 different ways. Stop wasting money on marketing. Okay? That's a great title, Chris, for your book. Available on Amazon and fine bookstores near you everywhere. But what does that thought really say? Go ahead and say that in a different way, Chris. If that wasn't the way you want to say it, that's on the website. But what's a different way you could say that? I'm going to challenge you. Go ahead, wing it. Stop wasting money on marketing.
Use your marketing budget more wisely.
That's it. Now let's go back. Let's go back and forth a few times and see where this, like a game of telephone. Okay, market differently than you were before.
How to use your marketing budget to generate quality leads.
ROI. Track what you're spending. Lean into what worked. Okay, we could do this all day. But this is what I think it is if you are going to accept the premise, and not a lot of people will, that as a salesperson especially, that this is the best way to say it, you're still going to have people that push back out of pride or arrogance or whatever to say, I don't want to say it that way. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to, but you better get the gist of it really close. And then you have that tailoring aspect. And smart sales moves, you can't do this on a website or in a newsletter, but let them talk first, right? And then you can tailor. You're not lying, you're not making things up, but, hey, Chris, what's your marketing problem? If it is stop wasting money on marketing, let them say it so that you can say it back in the same language that they use. But it might be one of these phrases that we just went back and forth on. Because there's 100 ways to say it. Sorry, Chris, to tell you that. There are. You picked the best one. But there's 100 ways to say it.
So let's go back to the script thing. So a script doesn't necessarily need to be a script like you're reading a play.
Right.
A script can be an agenda, it sounds like.
Well, let's go back to what you do, who you do it for, and how they need it. And the next step from that is, what are your differentiators? What can you say you do that your competition doesn't? Any of that is fair game, good or bad. And I help my clients see this through a light of, well, I didn't see that as a strength. Yeah, but it's your reality. That's a differentiator, whether you like it or not, that makes your business different than the others. And we're going to lean into that. So the messaging should center into that. So the logical answer to any question you ask them is, oh yeah, I guess I do need you for that. So I kind of went off track and lost your initial question, but
No, it's all good. So let's say, like you mentioned earlier, your strength is you are.
I am Viking Sales Consultants. Yes.
Yes, you are. So on the marketing side of that, we shouldn't be using phrases like we.
Probably not.
The team. We should be saying I, Vic. And the other thing is we should be pushing you, when you work with Viking, you'll be working directly with Vic. So that's how the marketing could take that and use the advantage, that the unique selling proposition that you've created over in the sales, and put it into the marketing. So if marketing says we and you show up and you say it's I, that's very confusing. And that's just the simple little answer that we have. So the two need to balance each other out. Because if someone shows up thinking, oh, I'm showing up because Vic's going to sell me something that has this giant team and he's got this whole national brand behind him pushing it. But then you find out, oh no, it's Vic that wrote a book that's on Amazon and he's got the how to make, selling easy. Oh, okay, he has a very simple process. It's not this thing where he's trying to sell you more product, sell you more services. He's just there to coach you in that moment in time, so you understand when someone sits down for a sales call, how to close that easier.
That's it. And I love it. On the flip side of that, I remember when I worked for big companies, every once in a while I'd go to meet with someone and it would baffle me, but they'd go, "Oh, I thought you were the owner." And I'd be oh so flattered. "Ooh, how did you think that?" It's a huge company. But, on the other side of it, I like the way that you framed this. A lot of us business owners, I even rankled a little bit, 100% true, and I lean into the fact that it's me. I mean, if y'all haven't made the connection, my name is Vic Ing, and the company is Viking Sales Consultants. I couldn't be more clear that I am the business. Now, we can talk about my scalability problems later. That's my problem, not yours. But the fact is, for now, when I show up and they did want a team, now we have a misalignment, upstream, as I like to say, of what they thought they were getting. Well, I have a 100-plus salesperson force. How are you going to handle that? Well, I'm not. I'm not your guy for that. So, yeah, how did this happen? And if they got it off the website, then now we're back to the messaging. Like, how did that happen? So you're right. It shouldn't be we. It should be my face and a name you know and trust, or, whatever, whoever's phrase that is that I just stole. But yeah, this is the type of messaging we're talking about. And again, where I had left it, and I'd like to hear your thoughts, is that differentiator. You can form questions. So don't you want personal one-on-one sales coaching? And when you see me do this, my esteemed viewers, I'm doing my ping pong conversation technique. I teach people, hit the ball back, ask a question. So don't you want personalized one-on-one sales coaching? If the answer is yes, all roads lead to me if I'm the only one they're talking to that is just me and small and not, big and buy more stuff, right?
Yes. And also, go back to the script and the agenda. Things change as you hear and have more conversations. And you change up that agenda, right?
Yes.
And you go, oh, this is a common question I get. Okay, this is a common question I get right off the bat. I need to, A, put that into my agenda of the conversation, and B, marketing. You need to tell people this because they're coming in with the same questions all the time.
That's it. And you make me think of like EOS. I think a lot of people probably that we're talking to have been maybe in the EOS world, Entrepreneur Operating System. And one thing that it says is whatever processes you create, I'm looking at it as sales process, which I systemize sales no different than you might your operational process. But kind of a golden rule in that world, and I agree with it wholeheartedly, although when I first heard it, it bothered me. So let's hear how it sounds to some people hearing this. But your process should be so airtight, clear, it should work, and so transparent that it's right on your website. Here's how you work with us. And some people at first go, whoa, wait a minute. Well, that's because you're winging it. Stop winging it. You should be so proud of what works that you advertise that. So that kind of came off of what you said, because that theme should pervade it all, that, anything that you're doing should be so systemized that you can just share that. So back to what you said is, that question that you get added to the agenda, I call that a meeting guide. I create for my clients they write it, I scoop it out of their heads and put it on paper, but all those questions that they should be asking. So again, as I think I said earlier, you're not leaving that meeting going, oh, I forgot to ask this. It's all in that guide format. And you did ask earlier, and I think we left it hanging. Should it be scripted? Should it be bullet points? You didn't say that, but these are the options. And the fact is, I don't care. Doesn't matter. It can be a checklist. It works for a lot of people. But for some people, just read it. I'm yet to meet a prospect, and this is where it's in your head. I'm going to look at our viewers. If you think this is a problem, it's in your head, not in your prospects. If you showed up and walked them through a wonderful meeting that got them really thinking and wanting and understanding everything about their business, and you read it from the page, they're not going to mind. Because I've been in that world, and they're going to look across the table and go, where are these magical questions coming from? This is the best meeting I've ever had. True story. Keep reading, they're going to say. But ideally, you're not just reading because, put a little personality on it. So have a checklist.
All right. So at the end of each one of these videos, we like to challenge you to change something in your business. Because what's the point of watching all this if you're not going to do anything about it? So I'm going to put Vic on the spot. What do we want them to do?
Hey, that's an easy one, I think. In light of this, I want them to listen to themselves for the next 48 hours And anything that they say about their business consistently, if they say it twice, we may be onto a pattern. I want them to capture that and really look at it on paper and go, is that a good way to say it? Because I've said it twice, which means it's probably a habit, and they have to decide if that's a good or a bad habit. If it's bad, rewrite it and create a new habit. If it's good, double down. Make sure your team and marketing is using the same phrase.
That's wonderful. All right.
All
Hopefully
right.
you guys enjoyed this. And if you have any questions about sales, contact Vic. If you have any questions about marketing, contact me. If you have any questions about how they come together, contact both of us. But more importantly, subscribe and send us if you have any questions. Just put it right here in the captions of this video, because we're kind of guessing what maybe your problems are based off of our clients. But maybe you have something out there that's killing you about marketing and sales, and you would love for us to do a video about it. We'd be happy to do so, because that's what we're here. We're here to help you do better sales with better marketing. So we'll see you in the next video.
That's awesome.